All right, in today's video, we're going to look at what is a scalable and maintainable website, and specifically looking at unbreakable layouts. And after this video, you'll know what I'm talking about, what is an unbreakable layout, and you'll be able to test if your website has an unbreakable layout. And it's a little technical, but I'll show you exactly how to do it. So first off, an example of an unbreakable layout would be if we add more cards to a section. Is that layout going to break, or is it going to be able to handle that? So if we right now we have 3 cards here, and it might be a list of products, maybe you have a list of or categories of products, and you have 5 right now. Well, if you add 6 or 7 or 8, is that going to break the layout where the developer needs to go and rework it to make it work, or is the layout designed in a way that automatically handles that? Another popular thing is flip-flopping. You got some text on one side and an image on the other, and then the section right below that, you flip-flop it just because visually it looks nice. Well, is that done manually, or is it designed in a way that's automatic, where it will just, as you add another section or moves the order of sections, they automatically flip-flop intelligently? So here's how you can test it. So back to this website here, we're going to right click and then click inspect, and this is going to show the visual part of the website that we're used to seeing, but it's also going to open up the code that's in it. When we have access to the code, we can actually tell it, hey, duplicate this element. It doesn't actually duplicate it on the, it doesn't save files to the server. It's just in your browser that you're able to do this. So, for example, we could go and delete this whole thing. If I right-click and then click delete element, boom, it's gone. But only here in my browser. It's not gone in reality, because if I refresh, they're back. So let's go ahead. I'm going to right-click again on this card, click inspect, and then over in my list of elements over here, I want to find the element that is right underneath the container that has them all. So here's the container. You see how it highlights everything? That's highlighting, that's how I know that this is the whole thing. And so the next child element, which is an LI right here, if I right click this and duplicate element, what's going to happen? Does it break the layout, or does it automatically handle it? You can see it just starts adding a third one. It doesn't break off to the side or get off center. It perfectly handles it. If we do it again, I'm going to duplicate it again. And let's duplicate it a few more times. Now, obviously, at some point, you're like, hey, this is too many. We don't want to list all these things in this section. But the layout is unbreakable. The layout handles it. Okay, let's move over to this one over here, where we've got text on one side and an image on the other. Let's again right-click and inspect. And this is much more complicated, and this is usually done manually. Manually, where image is on one side and text on the other, and then on the next section it's manually switched. And the problem with that is that you may decide, hey, we want this one section about the roof to be at the top. Well, all of a sudden then you have to every following section you might have to manually flip-flop if it's not designed in a way that's intelligent. So here's how it should work. So let's find the container that has everything, and it looks like it might be this UL here. I know it is because I designed this website, and it's so tall it's actually a little bit hard to see, but yes, that is everything. And this LI is the top one, and if I collapse this, we can see the next one's an LI there, and that's the next one. So let's just go this top one here. Let's just go and just duplicate it. And now you can see we got built like a home, and the next section is also built like a home because I duplicated it, but the picture is on the left. And what if I go on down? See, it automatically handled it, where it just keeps on going down and down and down. And I can even change the order of these here. So I'm going to refresh. So we're back to how we were. So we got built like a home, and then we got roof. Well, let's say, hey, let's move the roof. Let's move the roof down to down here. So let's drag it down here. So now we've got, look at that. So it automatically, external metal is now the next one, that flip-flopped. Roof is now here, and everything is just unbreakable. So that's what we try to design and build. You can test this on your own website if you want to. And most websites are not designed this way. Here's another section of benefits. So what if we add another benefit? Let's just go and duplicate this. I'm going to again grab here. There's our parent container, and I'm just going to duplicate the first child here. What's going to happen? It just automatically handles it. Now, let's go. I'm just going to randomly pick a website. I'm not picking on anyone. I actually don't know what's going to show up in the results. But let's type in roofing company, Goshen, Indiana, and we'll just pick the first one that shows up. That's not an ad. Okay, Goshen. Okay, I actually was on this website earlier, but I didn't really look at it. This is maybe such a bad example, it might not even work. Okay, let's go to services. Yeah, this is actually, I can't even really find a section to do this in. Okay, so let's go back. Relentlessroofingco.com. Let's try this here. Perfect, here we go. So let's just add another, here's like some benefits here. So I'm gonna inspect it. And it looks like, okay, there's our parent containers. I'm going to collapse this so there's our first child, second child, okay? I'm going to go and just duplicate this element. And I don't know if you can see on the recording, but here's what happened. See how there's like borders in between here? Well, there's no longer a border over here, most likely because that border is styled at the ID level and not, it's not going to apply to every element automatically that's in here. And if I would duplicate this item here, the last one, yeah, you can see how we're missing our divider right there. We just have it here and here. So it handled it decent, but there's definitely some elements here style-wise that are not, not automatic. Okay, let's keep on going down. Okay, here's some more. So let's inspect these here. Okay, so let's find our top level container, which is right here. And let's just duplicate our first item here. And this here looks like this does do it. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what I would expect. As more are added, it's just like pushing everything down here in a grid. Okay, so here's one of those flip-flop sections I was talking about. Okay, so let's go, whoops. And let's look at this here, because sometimes you wouldn't have additional sections here. This one might be done manually, and I might even do it, I wouldn't do it manually, but I'm looking for sections where you might add another one, or like might add something new to it. And I don't see here, I do see a lot of white space underneath here in the bottom. Not sure why there's so much white space underneath the testimonial here. Let me just refresh, maybe I did something. No, okay, something's wrong with the testimonials, are a little wonky there. Okay, so all in all, not terrible, to be honest. Locations. All right, let's go and let's find one other one. We did a roofing company. Let's look for a plumber. And this time let's look in Elkhart. Okay, I'm trying not to click on ads or Yelp. Okay, Mr. Rooters, there we go. Yep, they're popular. All right, they got a nice looking website. Okay, so let's just say you've got these services listed here. Well, what happens if we add some additional ones? Let's inspect, find our top level container. There's our unordered list. All right, and then let's duplicate this one here. So duplicate. Okay, it still looks good, still works. Duplicate again, and now we're starting to look. It looks a little weird. There's just one that's centered there. It's not terrible, but it's probably not the best way to handle it. But then eventually we get back to when there's enough there, then it does look okay. But having one there centered does look a little bit weird. So I would give this like a B. It's not terrible. It doesn't break. It's just not ideal, is the way I would put that. Okay. What about those are in a slider there. Okay, let's go to the Y. Y us. Okay, that's just not sure. Okay, back to there again. Okay, that's it. We're gonna wrap that up. So our goal when we design a website, we want the layouts to be unbreakable, so that when you add additional sections, additional products, additional FAQs, testimonials, benefits, features, whatever, we may add it for you, but we don't want to have to go and do additional design work to handle that additional piece of information. We want the layout to be unbreakable. That's our goal. We want to build scalable and maintainable websites, ultimately for you, but it also makes our job easier. It's easier for us to work on your websites when they're built to be scalable and maintainable. So I hope that makes sense. If you want to get on a call to talk about a website for you, definitely schedule a meeting, and a marketing assessment meeting, and then we'll find out where you're currently at, what your goals are, what some of the problems are that you're facing, and we can work on a plan to get you where you want to go. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.